Revelations does for the Resident Evil franchise what silicone titties do for a 50-year-old woman. Sure, I'll play with them for a while, but I'm not exactly having fun, and I'll never be able to eat Grand's cookies without fresh milk ever again! Jill Valentine, whose face seems to have been carved from a holiday ham, stars in Revelations despite having no connection to the plot. Parker's attachment to the events at Terra Grigia make him an obvious candidate for the protagonist, while Ada Wong's understudy Jessica would have served better in Jill's place. I know storytelling was never Resident Evil's strong suit, but there is so little gameplay content in Revelations that the story becomes that much more important as a result. Jill and Parker, then Chris and Jessica explore identical abandoned cruise ships. Two sets of characters explore mountains recycled from 1080 snowboarding. Two flashback scenes take place in an office, first traveling from the ground floor to the roof, then again from the roof back to the ground floor, while bringing a constipated Conan O'Brien along for the ride. Gameplay is a refined version of the Resident Evil 5 formula. You can finally move and shoot, but the reticle doesn't bounce when running, which makes firing while retreating way too easy. Running is now tied to the analog stick, so your right thumb is free to rotate the camera or play with your nipples. The A button has been remapped for a dodging mechanic that occasionally works. Like Stephen Hawking's, enemies react robotically to being shot in the legs, so if you aren't shooting for the head, you might as well be shooting a load on the floor, which I'm okay with. The T-Abyss virus enemies aren't rotting zombies, and a single ooze mutant can suck Jill dry faster than my Jewish ex-wife in divorce court. Unfortunately, like my Jewish ex-wife, the partner mechanic seems to have been mysteriously dismembered in a bathtub in New Jersey. Your AI partner can no longer die, and while they have infinite ammunition, they are completely worthless in a fight. If you thought Shever refusing to shoot Wesker in the back was infuriating, wait until Chris spends the entire final boss fight standing in a corner while shooting the air. It is also worth noting that, like a man your girlfriend insulted, every enemy in the game ignores your partner and attacks you directly instead. T-Abyss mutants include 4 types of drowned people: Biggie Smalls, My Foreskin, frogs that disintegrate when you punch them, Lamprey Lucy with the juicy sushi pussy, Jennifer Hepler after an all-night spaghetti dinner, and a couple of street sharks. The weapon system refines the upgrade process from 5, allowing you to swap upgrades between similar weapons, which keeps weapons viable longer and allows for a greater deal of customization. You can now move while using the knife, which activates with a single button press. Unfortunately, the knife does little damage, which is a shame since making the knife viable would have allowed the devs to be stingier with ammunition and made Jill play more like the Puerto Rican transsexual she's modeled after. A great deal of praise has been heaped upon Revelations for enemies no longer dropping ammunition, but scanning for ammo in every room slows the game to a crawl. If not for the recycled areas, lengthy cutscenes, and slow as molasses running down my ass's scanning mechanic, Revelations would have taken 4 hours to beat and would have probably been a better game for it. Overall, Revelations is like making hot, salty love to a reverse mermaid from Innsmouth. The fish knish is delish, but you'll have to ignore all the nasty bits to have a thrill between the gills.